Have you ever looked at your dog and wondered, how did one of the deadliest predators on Earth become humanity's best friend? Today, dogs sleep on our beds, protect our families, and greet us with unconditional love. But over 20,000 years ago, they were wolves, wild, fearless, and capable of taking down animals many times their size. Ancient humans didn't see them as pets, they saw them as dangerous competitors. Both hunted the same prey, both fought to survive in a brutal world. So how did these two rivals become inseparable partners? Most people believe ancient humans captured wolf puppies and trained them until they became dogs. It sounds logical, but that's probably not what happened. The real story is far more fascinating. Imagine the Ice Age. There were no cities, no farms, and no supermarkets. Every meal required a successful hunt, and every hunt carried the risk of death. After bringing down a large animal, humans ate what they could, but they couldn't consume everything. Bones, fat, and scraps of meat were left behind near their camps. Far away, hungry wolves were watching. Those leftovers meant an easy meal, but getting close to humans was incredibly dangerous. One wrong move could end their lives. Most wolves stayed away, but a few were different. They were less aggressive, more curious, and willing to take the risk. Late at night, when the campfire burned low and everyone was asleep, these wolves quietly approached the camp, grabbed a few scraps, and disappeared into the darkness. Night after night, they repeated the same behavior. Without realizing it, those calmer wolves had discovered a better way to survive. Instead of chasing prey for hours, they found food with much less effort. Because they wasted less energy, they stayed healthier. They survived longer, and they raised more pups. Those pups inherited the same calm behavior. Slowly, something extraordinary began to happen. Generation after generation, the friendliest wolves became more common. No one planned it, no one even noticed it. Nature itself was slowly changing them. The wolves that stayed calm around humans found food more easily, lived longer, and had more offspring. The aggressive wolves struggled more and slowly disappeared from this new environment. This is how evolution works. Tiny changes don't seem important in a single lifetime, but over thousands of years, they can completely transform a species. As the wolves changed, something else changed too: humans. Imagine you're an ancient hunter sleeping beside a campfire. In the middle of the night, the wolves nearby suddenly become restless. They start growling, staring into the darkness. A few seconds later, you hear heavy footsteps. A dangerous predator is approaching your camp. Because the wolves sense the danger first, your family wakes up in time. Suddenly, those animals aren't just scavengers anymore. They're an early warning system. Humans began noticing another advantage. Wolves had incredible noses. They could smell prey from miles away. Their hearing was far better than anything humans possessed. They could track wounded animals through forests and across frozen plains with astonishing accuracy. Working together made hunting easier. Humans provided food, the wolves provided protection, tracking skills, and extra eyes and ears in the wilderness. For the first time, two powerful hunters weren't competing anymore. They were helping each other survive, and that simple partnership would eventually change the future of both species forever. As centuries passed, the wolves living near humans began to look different. Scientists believe that selecting for calm behavior didn't just change their personalities, it changed their bodies too. Their faces became shorter, their teeth became smaller, some developed floppy ears, curled tails, and softer expressions. They were no longer exactly like the wolves that still lived deep in the wild. But the biggest transformation wasn't physical, it was emotional. The next generation of children grew up with these friendly animals around their camps. Unlike their parents, they didn't see every wolf as a deadly enemy. To them, these animals were familiar. Curiosity slowly replaced fear, and trust replaced suspicion. Humans eventually began keeping the calmest wolf pups close to their families. They fed them, protected them, and allowed them to travel with the group. The friendliest animals stayed with humans, while the more aggressive ones returned to the wild. Over thousands of years, this natural partnership created something entirely new: the first dogs. These early dogs helped humans in countless ways. They guarded camps while people slept. They warned families about predators before anyone could hear them. They tracked wounded animals after a hunt and helped locate food in a harsh world where every meal mattered. Many researchers believe this partnership gave humans a huge survival advantage. A hunting group with loyal dogs had better protection, better tracking abilities, and a greater chance of finding food than a group without them. Without realizing it, humans weren't just changing dogs. Dogs were changing human history too. From those first ancient dogs came every breed we know today: the tiny Chihuahua, the loyal Labrador, the fearless German Shepherd, the powerful Husky. and even the massive Great Dane all share the same distant ancestor, a wild wolf that lived more than 20,000 years ago. Think about that for a moment. Every time your dog runs to greet you at the door, every time it sits beside you when you're feeling lonely, every time it barks to protect your home, you're witnessing a bond that has been growing for thousands of generations. Scientists have discovered something incredible. When a dog and its owner look into each other's eyes, both release oxytocin, often called the love hormone. It's the same hormone that helps strengthen the bond between parents and their children. This means your connection with your dog isn't just emotional, it's deeply rooted in biology and thousands of years of evolution. But perhaps the most surprising part of this story is this. Ancient humans never sat down and decided to create dogs, and wolves never planned to become human companions. It all began with one simple choice. A hungry wolf took one careful step toward a human camp instead of running away. Humans chose to tolerate that wolf instead of chasing it away. That tiny moment of trust was repeated again and again. For thousands of years, small choices became habits. Habits became partnerships. Partnerships changed evolution, and evolution changed history. Sometimes the greatest changes in the world don't begin with a grand plan. They begin with one small act of trust. The next time your dog looks at you with complete loyalty, remember, you're not just looking at a pet, you're looking at the living result of one of the greatest friendships the world has ever known. A friendship that has survived the Ice Age, crossed continents, built civilizations, and continues to prove that sometimes the strongest bonds are born not from power, but from trust. Before we end, there's one more question that scientists still debate. Who really domesticated whom? Did humans domesticate wolves, or did wolves, in a way, domesticate humans? Think about it. Dogs taught humans to trust another species. They helped us become better hunters, better protectors, and perhaps even better companions. As humans settled into villages and later built civilizations, dogs stayed beside them through every major chapter of history. They guarded homes, protected livestock, rescued lost people, carried supplies, and stood beside humans in times of peace and war. Very few animals have shared our journey so closely. Even today, despite all our technology, millions of people still consider a dog to be their most loyal friend. That relationship didn't begin yesterday. It began with patience, survival, and thousands of years of trust. History is often remembered through kings, wars, and great inventions. But one of the greatest revolutions in human history happened without a crown, without an army, and without anyone realizing it. It began with a hungry wolf, a few leftover bones, and one small decision to trust instead of fear. That single decision changed two species forever. And perhaps that's the greatest lesson of all. Sometimes the smallest choices don't just